Welcome to the channel and the Ultimate Landscape Academy. If you are serious about growing your landscape business, then go ahead and click that subscribe and that bell button so that you get notified about the new videos that we release every single month. So today I'm going to show you one of the really amazing features that Jobber has where you can actually prompt your team to send an end of the day report to offload one more thing off your plate. You don't have to worry if the crew lead finished the project, if team members didn't show up, if they need something for tomorrow. Rather than taking that into your evening and banging away on text messages while you're supposed to be spending time with family and friends, instead you can automate this in Jobber and it will allow them to fill in the report so you get it right on your phone at the end of the day. You ever feel like your landscape business lives up here? If so, you're not alone. I'm talking, did I message that client? Did Steve get the materials ordered? Did I invoice Kevin? And did Sam pay? Right? If you feel like you're running your entire business from up here, I totally understand it. I did it for years in running my business. Let's get into it. So this is an example of the kind of form that you can build in Google Forms and you can send to your crew leads at the end of the day. So some of the questions on here, like what work was completed today? Were there any issues or delays that you encountered? Any deficiencies? Can you upload some photos? The list goes on. I'm actually going to break this down for you in a minute and show you exactly how to build it. But this is the kind of end of day report that you want your team lead or your project manager, whoever's on site at the end of the day, to fill in to make sure that A, they're communicating well with you, and B, you know what's going on. So you're not at home at night thinking about the job, wondering what happened, and juggling all this stuff up in your head, right? We want to offload this mental strain, this mental stress for you, and keep communication really high. Okay, and now I'm going to show you exactly how I built that form in Google Forms, so it's super simple and you can repeat the same process. First things first, you're going to want to log into Google Workspace. If you don't already have Google Workspace, I highly recommend it. There's so many features inside Google Workspace that will allow you to share documents with your teams that will make your organization so much easier. So go ahead and do that and then go to Forms. First thing you're going to do is start by clicking on Start a New Form. Now, you can get into adding in the coloring, the formatting, and all that stuff later on. That's up here under customizing your theme, and I will show that before we finish just to match your branding colors. But as far as it's concerned, let's get right into the questions. Now, first things first, we want to title the form. Simple end of day report, right? You can go ahead and fill in a description here if you really need to. I like to have a simple instruction such as this gets done every day. All right, now automatically is going to prompt them to put in an email address every single day. You can't change that. From there, we're going to dive right into the questions. So first kind of question that you want to be asking on this form is what was actually completed today? So you're going to go ahead and type that in here. And then as far as the answer goes, this is going to be a short answer. They're going to be able to type in some text really quickly. Make sure that that is the required question so that they complete it. Next, you're going to click on the small plus button in the circle on the right-hand side to add your next question. Another thing that you would want to know on this form is, were there any issues, any delays, anything that came up on site today that you need to know about that they hadn't already contacted you about? Again, keep that as a short answer and make it required. From there, it's always great to know what they need for tomorrow. So depending on the setup that you have, you might be responsible for this or your team lead might be. Either way, if you need to do anything in the back end, it's good to know if there's something you're going to need ahead of time. Maybe you can send an email before you kick off for the day, or maybe somebody in the office can handle this problem. Again, keep that as short answer and toggle it as required. Other questions that you can include on this one, and this is a really great one, is you want to make sure that they give you photo updates for the day. So once you do that, you're going to go to a file upload. They're going to have an option to upload the file here. In this case, it's going to be pictures. I would allow at least 5 to be uploaded at the end of the day. Make sure that whatever size photo, there's enough option here. Again, we've got it selected as the file upload. That'll allow them to give you an update of the photo for the day of whatever they did so that you know the project is moving along properly, and that if you notice something out of place or being done the wrong way, if you haven't checked in on the site that day, you have a chance to then deal with it right from this end of day report. Make sure again to click it as required. Next questions that you want to include are, were there any deficiencies? Were there any problems that showed up on site that they noticed? Anything that the team members did incorrectly that they then had to walk them through the correct method of doing it? This is really key for training, because if you see the same deficiency coming up, then this is a conversation to have with your team lead that some of the other members actually need some additional training. Again, remember to always click the required button here so that they have to fill in these questions. If you don't click required, they can skip it and you may end up with boxes that don't get completed. All right, so now you're going to ask, did you observe any crew attendance or behavioral issues today or other concerns worth documenting? Again, set this as a short answer. This will let you know if somebody didn't show up, if there were any attitude problems, anything that you need to know about the existing team to be able to remedy and have that conversation with them. Remember that these questions at the end of the day are just examples of what you can include on this form. By no means do you have to copy every one of these, and by no means do you have to keep it to just this. Whatever information you need to gather at the end of the day to offload some of that mental capacity and make sure you're getting communication from your team, then go ahead and add the questions in here. Continuing on a scale of 1 to 10, and I love this question. This is one that we used to get really good feedback on and really help push things ahead, was on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate today's overall performance, the productivity of your team, right? So what you want to know is how well would the foreman or the team lead say the day went? If this number was 10, fantastic. And you want to see a lot of 9s and 10s. But no matter what, I really want to make sure that at the end of the day, again, you're going to want to give them just a short answer option here. They can rate the number. Is you also want to know why. So I always like to add that in as a last question is, why did you give it that rating? When you do this, regardless of what they say, they're going to focus on either what went really well that day, which reinforces that positive behavior, or they're going to tell you if it was, say, an 8 or a 7, the reason it wasn't higher, and then you have an opportunity to adjust that and go from there. All right, again, make sure it's required. And the last question I want to just make sure at the end of the day, is there anything else that you need to know? Anything else you need to tell me about the day or the project? This just opens it up for them. And I would actually leave this one, again, short answer, but I would not make this last question required. This is just an opportunity for them to share any other important information with you at the end of the day. Once you've completed this form, a couple really key things to note is, and I talked about this earlier, is you can actually change the theme. So go ahead on the right-hand side, clicking on the paint icon here, and you can change these colors. We're all running a landscape business, so why not use green, right? You can, again, change your colors and do a bunch of other work to really customize it if you want to, but for the sake of this today, this is all we need done. From here, you want to make sure that you publish this form. So once it's built, you're going to go ahead and click publish. You're going to make sure that the responders is everyone with the link. So go ahead and adjust this down here from what URL you have. You want to make sure it's open to all your team members. So anyone with the link can respond. We're going to keep the editor view restricted because we don't want anybody to change your form. But for you and for filling it in, responders, anyone with the link. Go ahead and click done. All right. Now that you've got that, you can click publish, and now your form is live. You're going to go ahead and click on this link up here, the copy responder link, and you can click shorten the URL. Once you have that, you'll click copy, and we're going to take that and paste it over in Jobber, where your team lead will be able to click and fill this in each and every day. And now I'm going to show you that. All right, so here in Jobber on the scheduling platform, this shows the jobs that you have in your calendar and where they've been booked as far as when they're getting done and what's getting done. So right now you'll see that through the month of June, I've gone ahead and mocked up a few different projects for a patio walkway, retaining wall installation, the baker job, and a pool install. What I'm going to show you here is how we actually create an end of day report that automatically generates that to your team lead. So it pops up right on their phone in the app, and it reminds them to fill it in at the end of every day. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here on the dashboard in Jobber, you can see that we've already gone ahead and built in an end of day report for 5 p.m. If you click on this, it's going to go ahead and show you the details, and that's the URL for the form that we just built in Google Forms. So each and every day at the end of the day at 5 p.m., this is going to pop up on our team lead's phone. They're going to be able to click on that link, fill in the details, and then we will get an email about the updated report. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that as we do this, we want to make sure that it only repeats on the days of the week that we actually want the report. We don't want it going off on Saturdays or Sundays if they're not actually going to be on site. And I'm going to show you how to do that and actually build this end of day report reminder as a task right here in Jobber. All right, so with the calendar view brought up like this, you're going to go ahead and click on the day that you're already on, and you're going to scroll down to new task. All right, now you're going to go ahead and start filling in this information. Right off the hop, we're going to call this the end of day report. And the instructions, this is where we're actually going to put the link that we copied from the Google form. Go ahead and paste that in here. Now, the start date is going to be today, and the end date is going to remain as today. We want to make sure that we unclick this box right here for all day, because we want the team specifically to get this notification at one specific time. For me, it was 5 p.m. This is when I wanted the foreman or my team lead to have this information, because this is when they were expected to be back at the shop every day. They could fill in all the information and they could complete it at that point in time. So again, just for the sake of it, so it shows up on the calendar, you can go ahead and put 6 p.m. in as the finish time. This way it shows up as a slightly larger block rather than a really, really skinny line on the calendar. All right, now the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure this repeats, and you're going to go ahead in and click on custom schedule. You want it to actually repeat weekly, and then go ahead and select the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, if your crew only works 4 days a week, then don't pick the 5th day. If they work on weekends as well, then go ahead and select it there as well. Whatever day you want an end of day report, you have to put it in here so it reminds your team lead. When you're done, go ahead and click on OK. Now, over here under the team side, currently it's got me selected as the creator. I don't want myself to get the end of day report, so I'm going to take that off. But I'm going to go ahead and click the assign button. And in this case, Nick would be the project foreman and the team lead for this crew. So they're the individual that I'm going to go ahead and put in under the team. And I am going to click to email the team member about the assignment. I'm also going to set a reminder for him. This will, by the way, allow him to accept the assignment. And then I'm going to have a reminder set at the start of the task for him. All right. This is what you do to create it. Go ahead and click update here. And then it will bring you back to your calendar view, and you'll see how it now is scheduled in at 5 p.m. for every single day, Monday to Friday. This is exactly how we automate this. It will pop up on the foreman or your team lead's phone every afternoon at 5 o'clock. They'll fill in the information and send it to you. And then you've now improved your communication on site. And you have progress. So if one of your customers reach out and ask you questions about what's going on, you can go to the job site photos, you can go to the form that was filled in, and you can communicate with them about what was done. All right. And that's how you build an end of day report using Google Forms and built in with the automations of Jobber to take that off your plate. Now, keep in mind, Jobber is great with scheduling and task reminders for end of day reports, but it does a lot more than just that. It is a full CRM that allows you to manage your customers, to set them up so that they have the best interaction with your team and with your business right from the start to the end. It allows you to build estimates, do invoicing, allows you to track jobs, it allows you to track your team members. At the end of the day, it helps you take everything out of here and put it into one simple, easy to use system so that you can start running your business more efficiently and offload a lot of that stress and the frustration that comes with forgetting these things. If you want to learn more about using your Jobber for business, or you actually want to check it out, go ahead and click the link in the description below. You'll get a 2-week free trial and 6 months with a 20% off discount that'll allow you to get started using Jobber and systemizing your business right away. And if you found this video helpful, then go watch my other videos where number 1, I'll show you how to be more profitable, and 2, teach you the systems that you need to put in place to build teams and scale your business. And if you want to know more about how we help members inside the Ultimate Landscape Academy grow their landscape business, help them become much more profitable, and build the teams and the systems they need to allow freedom in their business, then go ahead and click in the description below. There'll be an option for you to book a one-on-one call, and we can talk about how working together will help grow your business.